Shalom Israel. First and foremost, I do want to give all praise, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Ba'ashem Kakadash, the born of the apostles, and also great millstone for teaching us true peace and blessings to the like of Israel. Yahweh is the name of the Henfal name Shibu Ba'ashem is the name, Yahweh Shai is the name of the begotten Son. Back in our lesson, as you put in the title, going to be going to these robots and these Iron Man like suits of armor. And also going to throw in, we need the Lord. You know, there is a reason why there's going to need to be divine intervention. You know, where the Lord is, quite literally going to step in. Because look at ultimately everything this devil, has and what he's especially getting ready to come down with, as we especially get closer to the end of this place, because very soon this devil will say, F it, and come down with this great wrath. He's me pulling out all the stops. But he'll show you within movies, cartoons, TV shows, all of things he has. For example, they show you in that movie Geostorm, where they're pretty much able to manipulate, alter the weather to an extent. I believe they call it cloud seeding. I believe they even have that today. So one lesson I made a while back where they had this NASA cloud machine, where they created a rain cloud. And that specific YouTube video was over 9+ years ago. So you can imagine the things that they have, now. And I got a couple of videos that I came across. I thought I'd make a lesson diving into it because this is what you're going to see soon patrolling the streets. They also show you in the movie Code 8, where they have created robots in order to specifically go against these people that had these supernatural abilities. One particular scene where they were surround this apartment complex to get this person inside. And they surround it with robots. They had this drone-like ship. So ultimately, a little taste of what's to come, because this devil is especially be coming for the prophets, the men of the Lord. And this is why that stand is going to be lifted against our enemy. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is going to level, the playing field. And ultimately, this devil will stand no chance, as we're going to get throughout various of these scriptures. So let's get these out the way. Get a couple scriptures in mind. Fine. So once again, this is shown to the public eye. You can imagine how much more advanced things that they have, behind the scenes. And though this is in Japan, think what this devil has. And Esau's blessing is a sword. See what these comments have to say. Putting gifts of, pretty much manned, robots. You have this robot from Pacific Rim. It's piloted by humans. A few other examples. But this is real stuff. People are going to mock, scoff, call this crazy. They can't. They don't have that type of stuff. We don't have that technology. And we'll see about that, especially coming these last days when this devil, brings that hammer down when he comes out with that great wrath. Now, there was a similar video where you had robot dogs instead of this right here, following every order to the T. And as you already see, robot dogs patrolling the streets. For example, you've seen a while back in Shanghai, China. You had robot dogs patrolling the streets, drones, make sure people weren't breaking curfew. So that's what you're really going to see, a lot more of. As you also have these little, robot cars delivering food now. Hey, we're coming to these times, man. So don't be surprised when you have these robots with, equipped with weapons, and various other things, patrolling streets, watching specific videos. Matter of fact, there is one video where you had a robot dog patrolling the streets, and the person that was operating it, you could actually see his face. It was a little tablet screen, and he was asking this person to move on. You didn't want him staying in one spot for too long. At that, I believe it was a park or so. But I mean, look at this. Hey, that spiritual power is gonna be needed, man. Because best believe is going to be pulling out all stops, especially when it comes for the prophets, the men of the Lord. But as you see in various examples in movies, cartoons, shows like Invincible, I always like to use that example where they are targeting the Superman-like character, which is Omni-Man in the show. They're using camouflage uniform suits, trying to take him out. And in fact, they use a DEW, which is a direct energy weapon, trying to take him out. And on that satellite, it had 144 on it. So this devil knows what's up, So listen, the Lord's not just going to give his elect spiritual power for nothing. I mean, look once again, look what this devil has. That spiritual power will be needed. Like I mentioned earlier, a divine intervention. The Lord is quite literally going to step in. The Lord's going to level the playing field. Like once this devil thinks he got you, that no one's coming to your aid, that you're finished. Hey, the Lord's lifted that standard. And spiritual power will be bestowed, upon his men, which we'll pray that we're a part of the Lord's will. But I mean, look at this right here. You have robots, programmed with martial arts, doing backflips, running off a wall, which is placed in that video. These Iron Man-like suits of armor, these mech suits. So the Lord is, quite literally, going to need to step in. And what's another reason why that power will be. And this is being shown to the public eye. They're not going to show you the best of the best things that they have, their trump card per se. But they give you a little taste of what they got. Now imagine what this devil has. He saw even the wicked the Bible speaks of. They have helmets now where you're able to, pretty much see through walls. You'll see the person behind that said wall. So further going to show, without Yahweh Bashim Shah, without the Lord, you are finished. Excuse me. But now we're going to get to the scripture at hand. It's Revelation 12:12. It says, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that win them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is coming unto you, having great wrath, because he knows that he hath but a short time." So the devil knows his time is ticking, his time is running out. This is why you're going to see him, just say, F it, and bring that hammer down. His true colors will be shown. Further establishing that point, Isaiah 59:19 says, "So shall fill the name of the Lord from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun, when the enemy shall come in like a flood." So come as a flood. That one movie scene from Project Power on Netflix starring Jamie Foxx. There's one particular scene where he's surrounded by a bunch of troops. But then, he pretty much took them all out. Like nothing. But, in that particular movie, they use, pills for power. But, in that one scene, while he's surrounded, he pops that pill, he gains, insane power. But that troop, that army didn't stand, one chance. So use that example as the Lord lifts him to that standard against our enemy. That power he's going to bestow upon his elect. Or your robots, your Iron Man suits of armor, your mech suits will stand no chance. But it says, when the enemy shall come like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against him. So a standard will be lifted. Jeremiah 30:7. The last 5 days great, so that is like even the time of Jacob's trouble. And that's the time that we're really in the midst of now. As you've really seen all the tribes being targeted. Israel is the main focal point of these attacks. Speaking of the Israelites, 12 tribes. But it's the last 5 days great, so that is like even the time of Jacob's trouble. So the time of our trouble, and really specifically for the wicked of our people. Those that don't repent, those that don't want to seek the Lord, this trouble is mainly coming your way. But those in his faith and his truth will be tried and be tested. But watch this, but he shall be saved out. The Lord is going to deliver and protect his elect in the midst of all this chaos. Especially once this devil comes for us. Once the Lord is also performing these great miracles. And watching especially bestow that power, upon his elect to defend, protect them. But in Psalm 17:13, further step from that point with that without Yahweh Shemashah, without the Lord you are through. No ifs or buts, about it. And it says, arise the Lord, destroy him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked. Who's that wicked spirit? You get that in Malachi 1:4. Esau being called the border of wickedness. But deliver myself from the wicked, which is thy sword. Genesis 27:39-40 goes into his blessing, which is the fats of the earth, and that sword. So showing you who's this speaking of. A couple more scriptures. 2 Timothy 3:1 says, this know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. So we're going to show the terrible times that we are fastly approaching, and really that we're in the midst of now. But it's going to show just the troublesome times that we're coming into. I mean, once again, look at this devil has. We just played 3 videos. Mech suits. You also have exoskeleton suits where they're able to lift immense amount of weight without straining the body. Robots doing backflips. Robot dogs. And they even show you at these shooting ranges, these robots able to shoot with near perfect accuracy. No form of recoil whatsoever. So once that power will be needed, man. But Isaiah 54:17. Now there's no weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn. This is the heritage of the Lord, and the righteousness is of me, saith Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. So nothing this devil has will work. He has laser weapons, and the article come out a while back. Them having a laser platoon. So they have laser weapons. Sonic wave weapons, which they actually use to disperse crowds at these, protests and all those types of stuff. So that is real stuff. And which I mentioned, Iron Man like suits of armor, robots, super soldiers. That's also another thing. It's real stuff. But they want some people to mock, scoff, call us crazy. You know what you're talking about. They don't have stuff like that. All right. We'll see. Luke 10:19, especially for these jakes that want to solely rely on their sword, their weapon, as if that's going to deliver you in these times. Sure, it may help you in certain situations, but the Lord can make it to where your gun jams, explodes in your hands. Whatever the case may be. We're saying, hey, the Lord is our deliverer, our Savior. But as we want to talk more time, behold, I give you power to tread on serpents and scorpions and over all the power of the enemy, and nothing shall by any means hurt you. And you can also get throughout various scriptures of, lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, how the Lord is going to defend and protect his elect. How not even a hair on thy head shall perish. So we're going to show how we'll defend the Lord's elect are going to be. A couple more scriptures, Zechariah 12:8. And it's in that day shall the Lord defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and he that is feeble among them at the day shall be as David. And as you know, David was a mighty man. There were various accounts of him running through troops. That one account where he leaped over that high wall. As you can know, teach my hands to war. Now let's continue on. And in that day shall the Lord defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and he that is feeble among them at that day shall be as David. And the house of David shall be as God, as the angel of the Lord before them. And it says, it shall come to pass in the day that I will seek to destroy all the nations that come against Jerusalem, and I will pour upon the house of David and upon the inhabitants of Jerusalem the spirit of grace and of supplications, and they shall look upon me, whom they have pierced, and they shall mourn for him as one mourneth for his only son, and shall be in bitterness for him as one that is in bitterness for his firstborn. Further to that point, Isaiah 41:13-16, you're going to show this, lowest state, that we're in now. We're likened unto a worm, which is a lowly creature that's pretty much prey to everything. Because right now we're on the bottom of the bottom. But once again, the Lord's going to flip the table on this devil, man. As you have that saying, oh, how the tables have turned. Hey, that table's going to be completely flipped, man. Turned upside down. This devil think he has power now, which he does, and the Lord's going to show you true power. This is verse 13. For I, the Lord thy power, will hold thy right hand, saying unto thee, fear not, I will help thee. So the Lord should guide us, protect us, defend us. And it says, fear not, thou worm Jacob, and ye men of Israel, I will help thee, saith the Lord, and thy Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel. Verse 15, behold, I'll make thee a new sharp threshing instrument, having two. Who's that new sharp threshing instrument? The elect. And it says, thou shalt thresh the mountains and beat them small, and shall make the hills as chaff. Thou shalt fan them, and the wind shall carry them away, and the whirlwind shall scatter them, and thou shalt rejoice in the Lord, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, and shalt glory in the Holy One of Israel. You can also get Jeremiah 16:16, which is also another good chapter. Will soon those fishers be turned into those hunters. And as behold, I sent for many fishers, saith the Lord. Who are those fishers? The prophets, the men of the Lord. And they shall fish them. And afterward, I'll send for many hunters, so soon those fishers will be turned into those hunters. And it says, and you shall hunt them from every mountain, from every hill, and into the holes of the rocks. Very soon you're going to have this devil trying to flee, trying to escape, hide away from his judgment, but you won't be able to. The Lord has covered all routes of escape, as you can also get Amos, further going to that point. How he also says, send the serpent after them. You also going to have Leviathan, or also known as Godzilla. The good, closest example is going to make an appearance. But Jeremiah 51:20-23, and thou art my battle axe and weapons of war. With thee will I break in pieces the nations, and with thee will I destroy kingdoms. So how do you think the Lord's men are able to do that without that spiritual power? Were we not just likened to a worm? This lowly creature that's pretty much prey to everything? Go and show this lowest state that we were in? So how do you think we're able to do this without that power? As thou art my battle axe and weapons of war, with thee, for with thee will I break in pieces the nations, and with thee will I destroy kingdoms. And with thee will I break in pieces the horse and his rider, and with thee will I break in pieces the chariot and his rider. Can you see within movies like Superman, these jets that are shooting at him, or Black Adam, for example, is also a good one. And you have people shooting at him, bullets bouncing off, throwing helicopters around, things like that. And it says, verse 22, with thee And also will break in pieces man and woman, and with you break in pieces old and young, and with you will I break in pieces the young man and the maid. I also break in pieces with you the shepherd and his flock, and with you will I break in pieces the husbandman and his yoke of oxen, with you will I break in pieces captains and rulers. So his stuff will completely fall. But that's the point. We're making you a somewhat quick lesson, going to those couple of videos that I came across regarding, the ultimately terrible times that we're coming into, the great wrath that devil is preparing to come down with. As you've seen, the robots that are being showcased at these events, these huge Iron Man-like suits of armor, these exoskeleton suits, super soldiers, all these things you are getting ready to see. But those that want to mock and scoff, call us crazy, all sorts of things, you're in for a rude awakening. But as we're going to have various people come to the last days, you'll soon come to a realization, having a light bulb moment, as the prophets were right. But that's the point right there. Lord, the lesson was edifying. I do close out. Give all praise, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh, Bashem, Shai, Bashem,